People often ask me, Vikram, what's that ideal mindset that you need to have when you walk into a competition? What's that ideal mental game that you need to be playing that is going to elevate your performance to a much higher level when compared to everyone else who's around you? What's going to set you apart? I'm going to discuss this and a whole lot more with you today. What's happening, self helper, and welcome to Self Help Yourself, the number one self help channel dedicated to making you the best version of yourself. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe because every week here on this channel, we do that by inspiring you through the power of psychology. So, I've been getting a lot of queries about this one. What is that mental game that you should be playing when you enter a match setting? How do you play in competition? What is the mindset of champions? Ask yourself this: what do you think when you go into a match? Are you going there to win? Do you play to win? Or do you play to lose? Or do you play not to lose, rather? So, if you are playing to win, it's highly likely that you're on the right track. But whereas if you're playing not to lose, well, you're looking to contain the match for as long as you can and prevent the eventual result, which is going to be a loss. You see the difference in that? Someone who is playing to win is actually looking at the end result, the outcome, as a victory. Whereas someone who goes in with a mindset of not to lose is looking at the end result as something that could necessarily not end up the way they want it to be. In essence, a loss. So, this is one of the things that typically someone who plays to win might experience versus someone who plays not to lose. That's one aspect. Another thing is a story that I would like to tell you about what Andre Agassi was facing at a point in his career when he was somewhere in the top 50 of the world rankings, and he had previously been world number one, had won a few Grand Slams as well. He was running a really, he was facing a really poor decline in his performance, and he was really struggling. And he wanted to know, what is it going to take for me to get back up to that level of play? He had been through some injuries, and he was looking to improve really quickly. And that's when he met Tony Robbins, one of the world's most famous life coaches. And he told him, Tony, I've been facing this issue. I just don't know what it takes for me to get back up to that ranking. And Tony asked him a very interesting question. What was your mental game when you used to enter the world arena to play a tournament? What was your thought process? And what was running through your mind? He couldn't come up with the answer. Andre couldn't tell him exactly what he wanted to know at that point of time. And then Tony asked him, okay, what would your opponent have been thinking? Then Andre tells him again, I don't really know. Then he asks him, what would the world number one think at that point of time? What would the mental game of the world number one be? And then Andre, who had already been world number one, answered him by saying this. He would ask himself, why did this guy show up in the first place? Because I know the end result. And believe me, this answer may seem a little overconfident, but when you're the world number one, you tend to, you tend to beam with confidence, right? It's something that is pretty evident in your game. You didn't just make it to the world number one spot. You worked your butt off and you competed and you proved your mettle when you ultimately reached that spot. So there is some proof as to why you are saying that, why you seem so confident. And that's the mindset that most people who perform really well have. They look at it as not a sense of participation that I was there and I competed. It's that I was there and I competed and I dominated. I didn't participate, I dominated. And this is something that if you are struggling with your performance, this is the kind of mindset that you need to have. first in training and then in competition. Because if you're not giving it your all in training, then you're missing a crucial component of the entire thing that allows you to build up that confidence and apply it when you play, right? So, what does it take to dominate? It takes a mental shift in the first place. And once you make that mental shift, it systematically makes a big change in how you train, right? So, if you are someone who is struggling with this and not performing as well as you would like, make this shift and do what a successful person might do, that is, dominate. Look to be the best in that particular situation. Don't look to just be a person who was there playing. Because if you really want to experience success in your field, you need to be in the top two. You need to either be the best or second best. There is no third place. So if this is something that you are struggling with, let me know down in the comments below. And try and understand this is something that can be changed. And it starts with a mental change. You need to fix what's going on here, and then the world around you will start to change. A person who is looking to overcome all the challenges that are put in front of him and dominate their competition, they think very differently, and it usually reflects most of the time in the way they function in the real world. They may experience some losses, but oh, I'll tell you what, when they win consistently. And this is something that you can definitely implement and take away from this video. So guys, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, make sure you leave your comments down in the section below about what you enjoyed and what you want to see in future videos. Also make sure to leave it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification icon, because we are dedicated to making you the best version of yourself. This is Vikram signing off, guys, and I'll see you in the next session.